Back everybody. So I'm Dave Cook. I will be narrating this video, and this video is solely all about my creepiest experiences in all the years that I have been investigating. So let's get into this. So this video is not like a top 5 or a top 10. They're not in any particular order in this list, apart from the very last one that I mentioned, which will be the creepiest place that I've actually ever been to. I'll also be including some places which I haven't investigated, where I just walked in and I felt a very, very strong vibe within this building. So the first place that I remember having a really, really creepy vibe is the Green Dragon in Lavington. Okay, in this investigation, I had to go off and do a lone investigation in the attic space. There was reports of paranormal activity in the room below this attic space, but I went up into the attic space because a lot of people have said when they've been up there, they felt like they were being watched, or they had a vibe, a creepy kind of vibe. I'm not going to lie to you, when I went up into this attic space, I did get that creepy little vibe. What I didn't expect on this night is that I was going to establish some sort of communication with a spirit with the form of knocks. It was a very, very intense rush that I was getting while I was in this attic space. I was very, very excited, and there was also quite a lot of fear that would actually come with this. And the reason why the fear was there, because this is probably the first time I've actually properly had some sort of communication with a spirit, and I was still quite new to the old paranormal scene, and it just had a very, very creepy vibe. All in all, I really enjoyed this investigation when I did this back in 2017, and if I had the chance to go back there to investigate that attic space again, I would in a heartbeat. Okay, so this next one is a local pub where I actually drink in on a regular basis, and this one isn't a vibe as such. This was something visual that I saw in this pub one day, and this is the Antelope in Uphaven. Now, like I said, I've never felt scared within this pub in any way, shape or form. I've never really felt a creepy vibe in this pub ever, but I remember quite a few years back, probably about 10 years back, I was in this pub around, say, early evening time. So a lot of people will say, yeah, you probably had a bit too much to drink, and yeah, okay, there is a possibility that my mind was playing a trick on me. But through this archway, I saw a figure of this woman in period dress. It's this archway here, which I'm just about to show you, and very dominant facial features, staring right at me for the best part of about probably 2-3 seconds, enough time for me to see the facial features of a woman in period dress. Like I said, at the time, it creeped me out, and I basically froze, and I kept on looking at this archway, trying to process exactly what I saw. It never really creeped me out seeing this, and like I said, this building doesn't creep me out in any way, shape or form, but just on that night, I know what I saw, and nobody can take away what I saw. The only downside is I can't prove what I saw, and I've never investigated this building to actually try and prove it, but hopefully maybe in the near future I'll get a chance to investigate it and I see if what I saw actually maybe was a spirit. So the next one is again in another pub, and this one is across the road from the Antelope Inn, and it's called the Ship Inn. Now I remember this experience so clearly every day. I keep remembering it. I keep remembering what I saw, and it's still as clear as day now as it was the time that I saw this. So one day in the bar area, this bar area here, they used to have the dartboard against the wall. There was me with a few of my mates, and we were just throwing some darts on I believe it was on a Saturday evening, and in the corner of my eye, down the other end of the bar, near the front door of the bar, I saw a figure of a woman and a small girl walk through the window and through down to what would be the cellar at that time. This pub has had a refurb since then in that kind of direction. Now, at the time of me seeing this, I never actually told anybody until a month later, where, and this bit always sends a chill down my spine, I pulled somebody aside one day because I knew this person was interested in ghosts, and I said, do you know, about a month ago I was playing darts where the dartboard was, And I saw in the corner of my eye, and before I even had a chance to finish what I was going to say, he said, "Did you see the woman and a little girl walk through the window through down to what would be then the cellar area?" And I went, "Yeah, that's exactly what I saw." He goes, "Yes, I have seen the exact same thing, and I saw it about 2 weeks ago at that time." At this point, I was in quite a fair bit of shock, and it also confirms, to me anyway, it confirmed what I actually saw, because I know that somebody else seen this. In later inspection, about looking for certain bits of information about the chip-in, the window that they walked through was actually originally the front door to this pub. There is also a picture out there, which I can now not find, of a woman and a little girl standing in front of that doorway. Is it the spirit of those two? Maybe. Or is it in my imagination? I'm not 100% sure, but knowing that somebody else has actually seen that kind of confirmed what I saw. And still to this day, the image of what I saw on that day still creeps me out a lot. Unfortunately, this story started to circulate the pub over many years to come, and recently this story has been subject to a lot of Chinese whispers. Things have been added onto this story, things have been changed, and people have told me this story, and then I told them exactly what happened, and they go, "How do you know that?" It's because I'm the one that saw it. So it has fallen foul to a lot of Chinese whispers, and the story has changed quite dramatically over the last 10 years, but essentially I know what I saw. I know that somebody else saw what I saw, and it'd be interesting to see if anybody, say in the future, that didn't know the story or has seen what I saw, would remember. If the more accounts of people seeing this, the more believable it will be for me. It's just it creeps me out still to this day. Okay, so the next one is here, where I live. And I've lived here for 39 years, and I am pretty convinced that this house is actually haunted. Now, paranormal activity or paranormal experiences these days, they're a little bit less regular, but when I was a teenager and as a kid, they were quite regular. The one major account that I remember from living in this house is one Saturday. I was downstairs. My parents had gone shopping. My sister was not here. I was the only person actually in this house. I heard a tap upstairs turn on, and then somebody walk across the bathroom floor. As you could probably guess, as a kid of 14, 15, the only logical thing that I could do was run out the door and not come back until my parents was here. I left the front door, wide open. I didn't bother shutting it. I just ran. That was probably one of the most scariest moments I've had in here. There's been other little moments where, I'm sorry about the cows, they seem to be getting a bit vocal. You hear things in the next room moving around in the middle of the night. Sometimes a door opens, so on and so on and so on. It doesn't scare me anymore, or not as much as what it used to when I was a kid, because I've just grown so used to it. But this is where my love of the paranormal come from. This is where it all started for me, is this house. This is where my interest in the paranormal come from, is living in this house when I was a kid, experiencing some of the paranormal activity that actually happened in this house. And still to this day, I'm still not brave enough as such to actually investigate this place either. I do the odd little small investigation, and then I leave it as that. But still very, very cool. It's where my love for the paranormal come from. So there we go. Okay, so this is the big one. This is the place where I've been there 3 times, and I've had exactly the same feeling each time that I have been in this building, or this fort, I should say, because it is Fort Woodley in Portsmouth. I remember the very, very first time I went to this building to investigate, and we done like this investigation walk around. So we were walking through the tunnels, and we heard this distant scream. We heard footsteps coming from different tunnels. the more you walk through these tunnels, the more the vibe, the creepy feel gets even stronger. There are certain areas in this building which have such a strong energy to them. Some parts of this building or this fort, I would say that the energy is a lot more positive, and in other parts, I would say it's a lot more negative. But the one thing I do know is that I can walk into this place and instantly feel something. There is a very, very strong energy within this fort which affects me every time I walk into this building. I have been there 3 times. I'm almost drawn to this place. I'm half tempted to go back to this place during the daytime just to have a walk around, just to see if I can get that feeling, that vibe that I've experienced before. Now, knowing that I haven't actually seen anything physically within this fort, I know my feelings when I go into a location which is apparently supposed to be haunted, and this one has very, very strong energy that goes throughout the whole of this fort. I am very much drawn to this place. I'd be quite happily to stay there by myself on my own for a whole night just to see what would happen. That is how much this place actually intrigues me. There is something definitely in there, and it's definitely worthy of more investigations in the future by far. Okay, so it's been over a day since I've recorded this video. I've literally just finished editing this video together, and I realized that there are more places that I've been which have had some quite strong paranormal activity and this creepy kind of vibe which I talk about in this video, which is going to be worthy of another video later on, maybe in a month's time, something along those lines. But apart from that, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care, and goodbye.